I have a tennis story to tell you this morning, and it's interesting because this is a huge thing when it comes to how you operate personally as a businessman, as a husband, especially as a father or grandfather. And it's a great lesson if you have employees or you manage people. It's very, very important. And I'm just shocked at how 99%, there's that number again, of ordinary, and I call them mediocre athletic coaches, don't have a clue about this simple distinction. And the reason they don't have a clue is they're not serious coaches. I don't care if it's baseball or tennis or hockey or football or chess, or I don't care what it is you're coaching and you call yourself a pro coach or it's something you do with other students. If you're not studying, if you're not seriously studying your craft every day, if you're not reading books and studying magazines and industry publications about that specific, mastering that craft, then you're an amateur. You're not a professional. And I see amateur hours so many places, and I see it whenever I try to hire a coach for my daughter, Emery. So admittedly, I mean, it would be easy for me to coach her in tennis. So I coach her in hockey. I coach my daughter in power skating at home. And, I do all the other stuff. I coach her in entrepreneurship, marketing, all that stuff. But at the end of the day, whenever Krista and I have tried to hire a coach, which has been tennis exclusive for us, it's been next to impossible to find that person who is a great teacher. There is nothing more valuable than a great teacher. I've always said that. Like, they're so hard to find. And it was the great Dan Leonis, the wizard behind the Einstein blueprint, who taught me this. He said, Michael, it's so hard to find incredible teachers, incredible coaches, whether it's business, whether it's math, whether it's chess, whether it's how to hit a tennis ball. And he's so right. He's so right. And you never think about it, because if you're like me, I've been studying the game of hockey for 30 years. I've been reading books, attending live seminars, reading newsletters, watching videos. Like, I'm a serious student of the sport of hockey. I'm also a pretty serious student of the game of tennis. I'm a very serious student about marketing and what I teach, money and marriage. And I'm an absolute freak when it comes to the craft of world building. That's what I am. I'm a world builder. I teach world building. People ask me, Michael, what do you do for a living? I'm a world building extremist. That stops them dead in their tracks. At a barbecue, hey, Michael, what do you do for a living? I'm a world building extremist. I am the undisputed world building heavyweight champion of the world. And these people, that stops Goofy right in his tracks. You see the smoke coming out of his ears. He can't manage that one. He doesn't know what that is. And then if he makes the mistake of asking me another question, I take that guy deep. I take that guy deep just for fun. Gotta do something when I'm at barbecues, right? And cookouts. I can't be there seriously talking to people. So Goofy gives me an endless amount of content and fun when I'm just relaxing and having fun talking with Goofy. So I was watching Emery's tennis coach. This is her second tennis coach. I fired the one last year because he didn't have any passion for the game. There's nothing that sucks more than a mentor or a coach or a teacher that doesn't have passion. If you don't have passion and you're working with children or you're working with other people, get the fuck out of the game, okay? Beat it, scram, have some integrity, and get the hell out of that game. If you don't have passion for your craft, If you don't have obsession for your art, whatever your art is, my art is marketing, my art is world building, my art is coaching sports. The day I don't have passion and obsession, and the day I'm not constantly growing as a coach in those areas, in other words, the day that I become stale, the day that I'm no longer willing to study and read and attend seminars and learn, then it's my responsibility to get the fuck out. Okay? It's called integrity for a reason. And we see so many, hanger-ons. You see it in sports. You see it in consulting. Men and women who haven't hit a ball in 50 years. Men and women who haven't won in 20 years. Men and women who haven't run a business in 30. And it's laughable. And that's the one thing I promote here is think for yourself at all times and don't listen to anybody, myself included, if they haven't won in the past in the area you're talking about. So, if world building, if I haven't won in world building, or if I haven't won championships in hockey and in tennis, then I don't think you should listen to me. The same goes for marketing. Like, what business people are talking about managing employees and stuff and social media. Well, what have you done on social media? Show me the millions you've made. Show me, the lifestyle you've built, the personal sovereignty. And I can call myself a world building extremist, and I can call myself a hockey coach because I'm so passionate and I'm so obsessed with those things. But here's the thing, I also do the work every day. If I don't do the work every day, that passion and obsession doesn't mean anything. It just means I become a has-been coach or a has-been consultant. Big, big difference. So for me, like watching Emery's tennis lesson last night, it's coaching 101. It's mental training 101. In sport as in life, mental is 4-1 to the physical. 4-1 to the physical. So I'm watching this guy. He's a nice guy. It doesn't really matter. I just want my kid to be able to hit the ball properly. And this is a guy who coaches for a living, 8 hours, 10 hours a day. It's his chosen career. And he doesn't know how to communicate with his athletes. And what I mean is, he's constantly making the biggest mistake you can make when you're talking to your kids, when you're talking to your spouse, when you're coaching kids, whatever you're teaching. He makes the number one mistake 50 times. And I'm not going to tolerate it anymore. I'm going to make a change, right? I want to always hire teachers and coaches who have a passion for the game. They're still playing. That also helps. I learned that with chess coaching is they need to still be active in tournaments. Even if they're older people, they're still in the game. Very, very important. So this guy constantly tells Emery, she hits 300 balls in an hour, right? That's what I say to the coaches. I say, I don't care what you do, what drills you run, but I want my kid to hit 300 balls in 60 minutes. Because by the way, I'm a pro instructor in tennis. I've taught tennis for years and years. I don't like teaching tennis. It's the only thing I don't teach my kid. But I'm certified as a pro tennis instructor. And I choose not to do it because I don't like it. So I don't have passion or obsession for it. I can't stand it. But I do know how to do it. So every time Emery makes a mistake, she hits the ball into the net or she hits it long, this guy tells her what she did wrong. And then he shows her. He's such an amateur that then he shows her physically what she did. Like he'll show her the wrong way she was holding the racket, or she'll show the wrong way that her feet were. And just think about that from a mental imagery standpoint. Like, how fucking stupid can you be when you tell your athletes what not to do? I learned this in hockey years and years ago by one of the greatest coaches in history. He said, Michael, never, ever, 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 ever tell your athletes what not to do. No speech, no video training. on ice, in the weight room. Never, ever, ever, ever tell your athletes not what to do. If you tell them what not to do, he said, Michael, what will they do? They'll think and visualize what not to do. They'll think about the thing you don't want to happen. You know, don't throw the ball into this coverage, or don't kick the ball here, or don't, like that. That's amateur hour coaching. And I've coached my coaches out of that habit, by the way. I used to have my assistant coaches in hockey, and I'm like, shut your fucking mouth. Tell the kids what to do. Always what to do. Always what to do. And what you're doing is you're firing what I call the neuron movies, the videos in your mind, and now they're seeing and thinking about what they should do. Hit the ball early, hit the ball early, hit the ball early, and then show them what it looks like. Got it. Now Emery can run that through her mind, hit the ball early. She has a vision for it. Her movie in her mind can play over and over. Her neurons are firing and firing. She can see that in her brain for 10,000 times. Hit the ball early, hit the ball early. Same thing with, when you hit the ball on impact, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Okay, now I know what to do. I hit it early and I squeeze the racket for power, and I'm gonna have a more powerful stroke. And then of course I love the Andre Agassi, his old man, who from Iranian descent, said to Nick Bollettieri, he dropped his kid off, and Andre Agassi at the Bollettieri Academy, and he said, listen, he said, you teach my kid how to hit this ball as hard as humanly possible, good morning, humanly possible, and we'll worry about keeping it in later. Hit that ball as hard as humanly possible, and you can teach him how to keep it in later. How about that for playing offense? How about that not playing to lose? How about that playing from your toes? That's a metaphor for living in 2023. Agassi's old man. Teach him how to hit the ball as hard as humanly possible. We'll worry about keeping it in later. And look at the type of player that Agassi was. Just a go for it, balls to the wall, relentless player. That was instilled in him at age 4, 5, 6. And then when he went to Bollettieri's academy, more of the same. He told Bollettieri what to do. He didn't listen to Bollettieri, the so-called expert. He said, listen, I'm gonna bring my kid here so you can coach him, but here's how you're gonna coach him. So I'm in the same situation here at a different level with my daughter. I'm just not going to tolerate anything but outstanding coaching. Dan Leonis, the great Dan Leonis, the wizard behind the Einstein blueprint, which has changed our world completely as parents. He always says, great coaches, Michael, give homework. Great coaches and teachers stay late. Great coaches have an obsession and a passion that is contagious to their athletes and to their students. Doesn't matter if it's a golf swing coach or a chess teacher. I mean, do they give homework? He always says. Do they give homework? He goes, masters give homework. Incredible teachers and coaches give homework. So we have the pleasure of having John Leonis, Dan's son, who is a 4,000 level chess player. I don't really know what that means. It just means he's really good. And he's Emery's chess teacher. And it's been incredible to watch over the last couple of years where John and Emery have a session for 90 minutes, sometimes 2 hours because he stays late, every Wednesday. And it's amazing to watch John live what his dad said, where he's an excellent teacher, but he gives Emery homework. Like, he gives her homework. He's like, okay, she has to take physical notes during the lesson. None of this bullshit technology or taking notes on a pad. She's just burning up the pen and paper. And then after that, believe it or not, and this is the type of thing you should demand from your great coaches and your teachers, whether they're personally for you or your children, is he sends me an email the next day with a total review of the match, of the lesson. Like, this went well, this is what we covered, this is what you can expect, this is what Emery needs help with, this was Emery's strong in, and then the homework. And it's my job as dad, or Chris's job as mom, to, make sure the homework's done. And the homework better be done, because like Dan and John say, and I agree 100%, if guys don't do the homework, they're going to be gone. Like, they would drop her as a client. They're not messing around. They want to teach. They're passionate about it. They're obsessed about it. So they're serious about it. So really interesting when you're choosing coaches for yourself. I give my mastermind guys all kinds of homework, and they're like, sometimes they're like, man, this is a lot of homework, 2 hours. I got to read a book. I got to do a book report. I don't fucking care. I don't care. You hired me to help you. And the only way I can help you is by pushing you out of your comfort zone to levels you've never been at before. So does that include homework? Damn right, every week. And it'll continue to include homework. And I expect it done. There's guys in my mastermind, my world builders, that we send packing. We're like, I don't give a shit whether you paid the whole thing or whatever you did. If you're not going to do the homework and you're not going to get it in on time, you're going to be gone. Homework separates the serious from the unserious. And if you can't do the homework and you can't focus and be on time in that environment, well, you have no chance of doing it on your own. So always remember, like with Emery's coach, do the coaches and the teachers in your life, the mentors, whatever, do they have passion and obsession for what they're coaching? Are they still doing it? I'm still knee deep in business. I'm still knee deep in marketing. I'm still building the world of my dreams. Have they won in the past? Have they won? I like my sports coaches to be sports coaches, even at lower levels, that have won. I won this coach said the other day, goes, yeah, Michael, I won the over 40s, all three gold championships last year. I'm like, I like that. I like that he's a winner. I like that she's a winner. And then they have those winning stories to share with my daughter. So interesting. Anybody and everything, including coaches and teachers in your world, this is all part of world building. You got to have people with passion and obsession, and you've got to have people, coaches and mentors and teachers, that push you and push your kids and push your grandkids. That's that's the sign of a great coach, in my opinion. If you would like help making this stuff happen in your actual badass world, there's a few things you need to do. First of all, you need to buy my physical book, my paper and ink book. Go to nobullbook.com and buy the book. Buy the book. I ship you the real book. I don't do any of this BS with ebooks or go fetch PDFs. I don't do any of that tomato can stuff. It's a physical book. It's priced where you can afford it. Go to nobullbook.com and buy your copy and then read it. That's number one. If you want to go deeper, then subscribe to my newsletter, my Michael McLean world building letter. It's every month. I write it every month, what I'm doing in my world. It's an extension of the book and the videos. And I share with you what's working and not working in my world. And it's a 20-page, 22-page physical newsletter. I ship it to your mailbox every month. And you can subscribe for that at badassletter.com. That's badassletter.com. And finally, if you're looking to be joined at the hip with other elite top 5% husbands, fathers, grandfathers, businessmen, then apply for your seat in my World Builders Brotherhood Mastermind. Go to badassworldbuilders.com. That's badassworldbuilders.com. It's a 12-month online mastermind. No airports, no hotels, none of that stuff. Just every 2 weeks we meet for 2 hours on Wednesday. And it's you and your brothers and me. It's one-on-one coaching with me for 12 months. It's less than 10 grand. You can't get better accountability. You can't get better marketing and business advice than that mastermind. Just it's been so much fun. Badassworldbuilders.com. That's it. Everything in your life, demand that it's outstanding. Don't let anything in your life that doesn't belong there, and anything that's outstanding, punt it, including teachers, including coaches, including so-called experts and mentors. Everybody in your life has to be there because they belong to be there. And curate and swift sword and cut the rope with anything and everything that's ordinary, average, and mediocre in your world. If it's not outstanding and it doesn't serve you anymore, give it the punt. It's got to go. 2 words that changed my life, 2 words that'll change your life. Be relentless.